Hey everyone, I wanted to share what I came up with for a design for a pallet fork compatible welder generator skid. So I started with 3/16 3x6, 3/16 2" by 2" square. And I think these are quarter drops. Nope, they're 3/16. They're 3/16. These I just had sitting around. I specifically found this piece and then these to work for this. Now, I'm not telling you have to do it this way because there's 10,000 different ways to build almost anything, but I wanted to share what I came up with in case someone either bought a welder generator or were asked to build a skid for a welder generator, or maybe you have something else you want to build a skid for, maybe like an engine-driven air pump or something like that, maybe a big toolbox or something, or maybe it's a welder that isn't engine-driven. So what I came up with was I wanted to have the two skids at a reasonable width. In my case, my hole dimension on this machine is 16.5 wide, and it is 22 3/10 long from 1/2" hole to 1/2" hole. And I'll post the actual schematic from them. I just wanted to draw something while I was thinking about it. These are 2" pieces of angle, so half of that is 1. So that works out to 18.5" width here to here. And that's what this piece is for at 18.5 inches. Same with one right there. This whole structure, considering once you bolt it together underneath the machine, and the machine itself should have structure of its own, this should be ridiculously strong, relatively low profile, shouldn't weigh too much. Now, the biggest problem I'm going to have is getting paint to adhere to it. Now, one thing you might want to consider is how are you going to bolt this thing on? As you can see here, with this piece in here, I can't fit my hand through here once the machine gets on top. And because of that crossbar right here, I can't fit my hand in there either when the machine gets on top. So what I'm planning on doing is bolting the rear down by setting the machine down on top of all this and getting the rear bolts in here loose, and then lifting everything up and holding up at the front and putting in the bolts from the bottom. That's what I'm planning on doing. So something you might want to consider when you're building something like this is make sure you know how you're going to put it together when it's done, because you could build something and build yourself out of the ability to use it. So something to consider when you're building things on your own. Now, I'm not sure if you can just buy a metal skid for a welder generator. I do know they make carts, but this is how I want to do it, so that way I can carry it around on the end of the tractor, and also too, so like literally, so I didn't have to be on a truck. I wanted it to be able to stand alone. Now, some people put it on a trailer. I don't want to deal with having to hook up a trailer to go do something, so I wanted to make a skid. I can either lift it with the lifting hook and set it in the back of the truck, and I'm going to put tie downs on here to help me hold this thing down, or I can put it on the end of a tractor and then have a welder tractor. So that, or a generator tractor, keep that in mind too, because it's a welder generator. So we can have multiple jobs done by one piece of machinery. What I did was I clamped down these to set a distance and measured everything, squared everything up using the table. Then I started building out from there using clamps, and I'm using clamps and suspending a piece down here to make sure everything's flush when I go and put this onto here so that it's not sticking up super proud. It probably doesn't matter if it's off a little bit, but too much might be a little bit excessive because you really kind of want to have the machine sit down on things. Now we have, did I write that down? It's in the schematic. I think it's 1.75 right here. 1.75 is where the edge of the machine is going to be. So if this is an inch, the edge of the machine should be just barely sitting on this pallet, or the fork pallet tube area, the 3x6 pieces here. Now I am planning on making some arms for ground and electrode wire holders, as well as perhaps a toolbox or something to keep extra things, and maybe a spot to keep wire. So or a wire. Well, accessories number one, but also rod. So I may come up with something. I specifically want to come up with something for this that is utilizing this outer portion so the welder doesn't go to the full edge. Now the other thing is too, my welder is 36 inches in length, front to back. These are 38 inches. So I have approximately 1 inch on the front and the back to protect the front and the back of the welder. And of course, welders are usually tapered and, you know, funny dimensions and whatever. So this should fully encase and protect the welder from things like carrying it through the woods and hitting a tree. That would be the hope. The skid will take some of the impact. I just wanted to share what I came up with, not because you should do it my way, but maybe give you something to think about. I tried to look up some videos on people building this stuff, and I'm just not really seeing, you know, what I was trying to do. So I wanted to make a video showing to other people, if they're looking for a similar thing, that they can, you know, draw some ideas from it. Maybe you want to do, you know, this a little bit differently. Maybe there's something you want to change, but at least it gives you an idea. And I didn't measure this because, of course, I have adjustable pallet forks. So, like, you know, I'm not that worried about an exact measurement. But center, we're about 24, 25 inches center to center on these. I just figured it sounded like a good round number, and more importantly, it's built around the welder itself. So the dimensions of this was set by what's going on top of it. I think that's plenty wide enough. We're not going to have any torsional issues going on here. So let me know if you guys like this, and I will make an update on the 12 valves winch bumper. I have been procrastinating a little bit because I keep getting sidetracked by other things, including this. So we will get back to the 12 valve winch bumper very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.